Hello, welcome back to Chapter 9, Section 7. We are solving quadratic equations using square roots. And this example number 3, where we're going to approximate solutions, you're going to get to use one of these. And if you don't have one of these, it's okay. You have access to a calculator on your iPad, and I will show you how to do that. I won't show it in the video, I'll show it in class, but also I have a step-by-step guide that I'll put in Schoology for you. Or if you have your own calculator, that's fine. It doesn't have to be one of these. It doesn't have to be a TI-84. It can be the calculator on your phone. All right. You'll need, getting ahead of myself. I don't need to do that. Why are you going to need a calculator for this? Because we are going to estimate the solutions. Why are we going to estimate? Well, let me show you. The first equation says x to the second power equals 10. Let's go back to this page that I showed you in the first video. So here's 1 to the second power, 2 to the second power, 3 to the second power, etc. So 1 to the second power equals 1. I'm looking for something squared equals 10. That's not it. 2 to the second power equals 4. 4 is not 10. 3 to the second power equals 9. 9 is not 10, but it's close. 4 to the second power equals 16. Wait a second. X to the second power equals 10 is going to be between like 3 to the second power equals 9 and 4 to the second power equals 16. And if I drew this on a number line, I'll put my number line right here. All right. So if I do 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, I didn't draw enough. 16. I'll squeeze it in right there. Made this too wide. This right here is 10. And if I take the square roots of these, this is actually 3 and this was 4. So it looks like my answer, it's not halfway. One of the first mistakes people say is, oh, it's between 3 and 4. It must be 3.5. It's actually closer to 3. So I want a number that's going to be close to 3. So x is going to be approximately equal to, and I'm just going to stick with the positive for a second. I know there's going to be a positive or negative. I'm just looking at the positive solution. X is going to be close to, let's say, 3.2, maybe. So what if I don't have a calculator and I want to find out if that's right? Well, I would multiply 3.2 times 3.2. Why am I multiplying this by hand? Because this shows you where this comes from. 2 times 2 is 4. I get 6. I get 0. I get 6. I get 9. I get 4, 12, 10.24. So it turns out that 3.2 actually was a little too big. So then I can say, well, maybe it's 3.1. And I can do the same thing. So obviously, I'm going to use this. But I want you just to know that you don't have to. You absolutely don't have to. All right? We're going to approximate. And even the answer that I get from here is not even the correct answer. We're just going to approximate. So what do? Let's get down here. I got square root of x squared equals plus or minus square root of 10. Oh, and I need to say one more thing about this too. If you have to read the directions, that's not if you have to read the directions, I changed my mind. You have to read the directions. The directions are going to say round to the nearest hundredth or estimate or something like that. If it says give the exact answer, we would be finished with this problem. The exact answer is written square root of 10. And I know that blows people's minds, but it's okay. Because the square root of 10, no human can ever write it. It's an irrational number, which means it has a decimal that goes forever. So this is just a way of writing it, okay? So I'm going to grab my calc. I'm going to do second square root here, put 10 in there, and it's approximately 3.16. Now, rounding to the nearest 100 means I go 2 decimal places, 3.16. The next number, 2, means that this is closer to 3.16 than it is to 3.17. And of course, when it's also rounded up to 1 decimal places, it would have been 3.2. But again, this was too small. So I'm going to say x is, and actually I put the wavy lines in there, it means approximately equal to. I get two numbers, one's positive, one's negative, 3.16. So a couple of things I want to take away from this, okay? First of all, this gives us square roots of numbers that are not on my sheet. Square roots of numbers that are not perfect squares. All of those I have to estimate. There's no way I can write the square. This one goes to like 2, 4, 6, 8 decimal places, but the real square root of 10 goes forever. The decimal places go forever. It's what we call irrational. Kind of like maybe you talked about pi in the middle school. All right. You have to give the solution based upon what the directions say. If the directions say estimate or they say round to the nearest hundred, then that's when I do that. If it says give the exact answer, which you'll see in Algebra 2, and maybe a little bit in the next couple sections, then we would leave it with a radical. But this one does say round to the nearest hundred. So let's do the next one. I've got 0 equals negative 2x to the second power plus 80. I'm going to add negative 80 to both sides and get negative 80 equals negative 2x squared. I don't know why I put the negative there. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. And 80 divided by 2 is 40. Negative divided by negative is a positive. So I get 40 equals x to the second power. And just because every other time I have the isolated variable on the left side, I'm just going to turn this around. Take the square root, and don't forget I get two answers. One's positive, one's negative. Okay. Now, if you didn't have a calculator, this is what you would do. Go back to this list. I'm looking for 40. Well, here's 25, here's 36, here's 49. 40 is between these two. So 6 to the second power equals 36. I know that x to the second power is going to be 40 for the positive one. I know there's going to be a negative one too. And then I also know that 7 to the second power equals 49. Now, I can draw it on a number line like I did here, or I can just kind of think about it this way. These are 4 spaces apart, 4 units apart, and these are 9 units apart. So it's going to be closer to 6 than it's going to be to 7. So I think my approximation might be x is almost equal to plus or minus, let's say 6.3, maybe 6.4, maybe 6.2, I'm not sure. But let's try to do it on the calculator. I'm going to take the square root, second square root of 40, and I get 6.32. So 6.3 was a pretty good guess. So, but I want to go to 2 decimal places, so I say x is approximately equal to, I get 2 of them, one's positive, one's negative, 6.3, and the 4, can you see it, the 4? That's almost in the middle, it really is. But it actually means that this number is closer to 6.32 than it is to 6.33. So I'm going to say 6.32. All right, we'll see you in the next video.